Now we read the chapter number 4, The Age of Industrialization, class 10th. First of all, introduction of this chapter. In this chapter, you see the two pictures. In 1900, a music book that had a picture on cover page, Dawn of the Century by E.T. Paul Music Company, in which some symbols were used for future. Industrialization began in late 18th and early 19th century with major changes in agriculture, manufacturing, and transportation, etc. Its profound effect on socio-economic and cultural condition in Britain and spread throughout the Europe and entire world. The chapter focus on developments in Britain followed by those in India. In second picture, you see the two pictures. One, the two magician, and uh, it the upper part of this picture shows the old time and the new time. जो चेंजेस पहले अलादीन के चिराग से होते थे वो चेंजेस मॉडर्न टाइम में इंजीनियर्स के द्वारा किए गए. Now you see the map. Spread of industrialization in the world from 18th century to late 20th century. The industrialization first of all occurred in Britain. You see the dark purple color, and spread slowly Europe and other parts of the world. In India, it came late 20th century. Now we see the spread of industrialization over the centuries from 18th century to 21st century. It is mechanization, electrification, automation, and digitalization. We read the main factor, the mechanization, means shifting from human labor to mechanization. In this chapter, we see two countries, Industrial Revolution in Britain and India. First of all, in Britain, before Industrial Revolution, the production procedure is called proto-industrialization. In large scale industrial production for international market, but no factories in existence. Merchants moved to countryside to persuade peasants and artisans to produce for international market because the demand for goods were growing due to colonialization. Merchants could not expand production within towns, and urban crafts and trade guilds were powerful, maintained control over production, regulated competition and prices. So they turned into countryside. Poor peasants in countryside began working for merchants due to less income. A close relationship developed between the town and countryside. Britain, the coming up of factories. The earliest factories in England came up during 1730 and grew in number during late 18th century. The most dynamic industries in Britain were cotton and metal. Richard Arkwright created the cotton mill in which all procedure of manufacturing were brought together under one roof and managed. A series of inventions increased the efficiency of each production process, such as carding, twisting, spinning, and rolling. We see how the industrial change occurred, means the pace of industrial change. First of all, the cotton was leading sector in first phase of industrialization up to 1840. After this, the iron and steel industry led the way. New industries could not easily displaced traditional industries. Some known mechanized sector such as food processing, building, pottery, glasswork, decoration existed because there were no variety and no uh, creativity in the industries. Technological change occurred slowly because new technology was expensive, the cost of maintenance was so high, and these were not effective. Labor was available easily. James Watt improved the steam engine. Matthew Boulton manufactured the new model. At that time, 321 steam engines were present across the England, at, but no use. You see the pictures of James Watt steam engine and Matthew Boulton engine. Now we see the hand labor and steam power. Yeah, what was the condition in Britain, Victorian Britain, of production? In Victorian Britain, there was no shortage of human labor. Poor peasants moved to the cities in large number in search of jobs waiting for work. Due to surplus labor, industrialists paid low wages. Mechanized required large capital investment. Demand for labor was seasonal. At the time of 25th December, demand were increased and then reduced. Industrialists usually preferred hand labor. It was the status symbol. A range of product could be produced only with hand labor, which came to symbolize refinement and class. Upper classes preferred things produced by hand-made goods. They were better finished, individually produced, and carefully designed. Now we see the life of the workers in Britain. The actual possibilities of getting a job depended on existing network of friendship and kin relation. Job seekers had to wait weeks, spending night under the bridges or in night shelters. Seasonality of work in many industries meant prolonged period without work. After the busy season was over, the poor were on the street again. 10% of the urban population was extremely poor. The fear of unemployment made workers hostile to the introduction of spinning jenny. Women who survived on land spinning began attacking the new machine. Spinning jenny, devised by James Hargreaves in 1764, it speeded up spinning procedure and reduced labor demand. By turning one single wheel, a worker could set in motion a number of spindles and spin several threads at the same time. So the women feared and break down the new machine. अब तक हमने देखा ब्रिटेन में इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन. नाउ वी सी द इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन इन इंडिया. The age of Indian textiles. Before industrialization, silk and cotton goods from India dominated the international market in textiles. A vibrant sea trade operated through the main pre-colonial ports. Surat on the Gujarat coast, connected India to the Gulf and Red Sea port, Moslepattam and Coromandel coast. On the Coromandel coast and Hooghly in Bengal had trade link with South East Asian ports. So the Indian trade was so high. The European companies gradually gained power and got monopoly rights to trade in India. Declining of the old port Surat and Hooghly. Exports from these ports fell dramatically, just half. Bombay and Calcutta grew as the new port and European companies conducted trade through these ports. Many of the old trading houses collapsed. You see the map, trade relation and trade routes. आप ऊपर देख रहे हैं एंशियंट टाइम में ट्रेड रूट्स एंड मिडिवल टाइम नीचे मिडिवल टाइम में ट्रेड रूट्स. We connected the all over the world. What happened to the weavers when Britishers came in India? The industrialization in India began with the coming of the Britishers in India. The East India Company established the political power and got monopoly right to trade. Company tried to eliminate the existing traders and brokers connected with the cloth trade. Company eliminate the other companies like Dutch, French, etc. It appointed paid servant called the Gomastha to supervise the weavers and collect the supplies and examine the quality of clothes. It was the system that advance was given to the weavers as the loan to purchase the raw material. The weavers who took loan had to hand over the cloth they produced to the Gomastha. वो किसी और को अपना प्रोडक्शन नहीं दे सकते थे. Weavers did not receive good prices from the company. जैसे जैसे मोनोपोली ब्रिटिश कंपनी की होती गई वैसे वैसे उन्होंने प्राइस को रिड्यूस कर दिया. Soon there were reports of clashes between the weavers and Gomastha because the new Gomastha were outsider with no long-term social link with the villages. पहले के लोग वहीं रहते थे, वहीं ट्रेड करते थे, so they have sympathy towards the peoples. But Gomastha was the outsider. Gomastha acted arrogantly, marched into the villages with sepai and peons, and punished weavers for delays in supply, often beating them. The weavers lost the space to bargain for price. क्यों? क्योंकि केवल एक ही कंपनी रह गई थी जिसको देना था. एंड सेल टू डिफरेंट बायर्स. पहले वो डिफरेंट बायर्स को देते थे बट अब केवल ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को ही देना था. In many places in Carnatic and Bengal, weavers deserted villages and migrated due to fear. Many of those begin to the construction work, and some were setting up looms in the other villages. Now we see the Manchester comes to India. Manchester means the production of Manchester comes to India. By the beginning of 19th century, there was a long decline of textile exports from India. Cotton weavers in India faced many problems. Their export market collapsed and the local market shrank. The imported cotton goods were so cheap that weavers could not easily compete with them. They could not get sufficient supply of raw cotton of good quality. Indians could not get. Forced to buy raw cotton at exorbitant prices. Factories in India began production, flooding the market with machine goods. The Indian weavers have double problem. One is they have not sufficient raw material and expensive. Second thing, the production was slowly. Now we see the factories came up in India. Early entrepreneurs. सबसे पहले the first cotton mill in Bombay came up in 1854. Indian businessmen were provided finance, procured supplies, and shipping consignments. These were the works Indian merchants were engaged. In Bengal, Dwarkanath Tagore started 6 joint stock companies in the 1830 and 1840s. In Bombay, Dinesh Shaw Petit and J.N. Tata built huge industrial empires. In Calcutta, Seth Hukumchand and Marwari businessmen set up the first jute mill. Some merchants carried goods from one place to another, did banking, transferred funds between cities, and financed the traders. European managing agencies controlled a large sector of Indian industries, like as Bird Hegglers and Company, Andrew Jule, Jardine Skinner and Company. Now we see the where did workers come from when the factories came up in India? Where did workers come from? In Indian factories, workers came from districts around. Workers in Bombay cotton industries in 1911 came from Ratnagiri. The mills of Kanpur got most of their workers from Kanpur region and rural area. Mill workers moved between village and city. Workers traveled long distance after some time. From the United Province, UP, they went to work in Bombay and Calcutta. Industrialists employed this jobber to get new recruits. क्योंकि किसी भी मिल में आसानी से काम नहीं मिलता था, उसके लिए कोई जानकार होना जरूरी था. तो जॉबर्स जो थी वो ये काम करते थे. Who were jobbers? The jobbers was an old and trusted worker. He got people from his village and showed them jobs. He helped them settle in the city and provided them money in time of crisis. He became a person with some authority and power. But after some time, he demanded money and gift for jobs. Now we see the main features of industrial growth, the peculiarities of industrial growth. First of all, the European managing agencies were interested in tea, coffee, plantation, invited in mining, indigo and jute. Indian businessmen started their industries in late 19th century. Indian cotton mills produced coarse cotton yarn rather than fabric. क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा बिकता था. कोर्स कॉटन ज़्यादा यूज़ होता था क्योंकि जो पुअर पीपल थे वो कोर्स कॉटन ज़्यादा यूज़ करते थे. द yarn produced in Indian spinning mills was used by handloom weaver in India or exported to China. From 1906, the export of Indian yarn to China declined. So, the Indian merchants started the trade. First World War created a dramatically new situation in India because the British mills were busy with war production to meet the needs of the army. ब्रिटेन डाइवर्ट हो गया वॉर की तरफ और वो कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाया डिमांड भारत की. मैनचेस्टर इंपोर्ट इनटू इंडिया डिक्लाइंड. Indian mills had a vast home market to supply. New factories were set up and old one ran multiple shift. और एक बार कंट्रोल होने के बाद फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद भी वो उसको ब्रिटेन कैप्चर नहीं कर पाया. Now we see what was the condition of small scale industries. In India, handicraft production expanded in 20th century. Handloom cloth production expanded steadily because the workers, skilled men, engineers adopt a new technology. It helped them to improve production without excessively pushing up the cost. Weavers using loom with a fly shuttle. It increased productivity per worker, speeded up production, and reduced the labor demand. Region like Travancore, Madras, Mysore, Cochin, and Bengal, 70–80% handloom were fitted with fly shuttle. The demand of handloom was not reduced in India. Coarse clothes fluctuated, but fine clothes were demanded every time. Now we see the market for goods. What were the efforts to sell the production in India? First of all, advertisement. Advertisement made products appear desirable and necessary. It tried to shape the mind of people and create new needs. वो एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखें और खरीदने का मन बनाएं. Labels were used in cloth bundles. Labels shows the address of manufacturer. Use of different images like Indian gods and goddess. It appealed the Indian people to buy the goods. Manufacturers were promoting calendars because they were used by the people who could not read, because the literacy rate was not good at that time. So calendar was useful for both, for all. And in shops, it was very favorite. लोग ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आते थे, देखते थे, सारे साल कैलेंडर लगा रहता था. Figures of important personages of emperor and nawab, etc. were used. They appeal like this. They appeal the people to buy the production. ये केवल ब्रिटिशर्स के द्वारा यूज़ नहीं किया गया. All the things were used by the nationalist Indian producers. Advertisement became a vehicle of the nationalist masses of Swadeshi. पिक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं पियर्स शो एंड अदर ग्राइट वाटर, जिसमें कि बाल कृष्ण की फ़ोटो लगा के ये दिखाया गया कि ये बच्चों के लिए आइडियल है. इसी तरह जो इंडियन प्रोड्यूसर्स थे उन्होंने इंडियन देवी देवताओं के साथ साथ भारत माता की पिक्चर को यूज़ किया, जिससे वो दोनों हाथ आप पिक्चर में देख सकते हो एनसीईआरटी की पिक्चर में कि दोनों हाथों से वो क्लोथ दे रही हैं, इंडियन क्लोथ. यानी नेशनलिस्ट ये दिखा रहे थे कि भारत माता ये चाहती है कि आप लोग इंडिया का प्रोडक्ट्स खरीदो. So these are the efforts used by the Britishers and Indian to sell the productions in India. So आज हमने देखा कि इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन ब्रिटेन और इंडिया में किस तरह डेवलप किया. आशा है कि आप लोगों को हेल्प मिली होगी. थैंक यू.